a BS Pharmacy student from University of San Carlos, studies these types of nematodes as part of their curriculum.
Ascaris species are very large, with adult females measuring about 20 to 35 centimeters long and adult males about 15 to 30 centimeters long. They are nematodes or roundworms that parasitize the human intestine.
Ascaris lumbricoides, along with whipworm and hookworm, is a type of parasite known as a soil-transmitted helminth or STH. This particular roundworm is an obligate internal parasite that usually resides in the small intestine of humans, specifically the jejunum. When people do not wash crops or cook them thoroughly, the roundworm can enter a new host and start its life cycle again. In the life cycle of Ascaris lumbricoides, adult worms live in the lumen of the small intestine. A female may produce approximately 200,000 eggs per day containing either fertilized or unfertilized eggs that can possibly be ingested but are not really infectious. Subsequently, they are passed into the feces. In our feces, the larvae develop to infectivity within fertile eggs after 18 days to several weeks, depending on the environmental conditions, be it warm, moist, or shaded. If a definitive host ever ingests these infective eggs, the larvae would hatch and eventually invade the intestinal mucosa. From the mucosa, the parasite is carried by the systemic portal and is consequently brought into the lungs. Within 10 to 14 days, the larvae mature further in the lungs, allowing them to penetrate the alveolar walls, ascending to the bronchial tree until it reaches the throat. Upon reaching the throat, there is a tendency that these parasites are swallowed back into the stomach to consequently invade the small intestine, where they develop into adult worms. These adult worms can live up to 1 to 2 years. According to the CDC, ascariasis caused by Ascaris lumbricoides is one of the most common intestinal worm infections. They are more likely to be found around pigs or people who raise pigs or use raw pig manure as mere fertilizer. An estimated 807 million to 1.2 billion people in the world are infected with Ascaris lumbricoides. Reported cases has been found throughout the globe, especially in tropical and subtropical areas. For prevention measures, avoid ingesting soil that may be contaminated with human or pig feces, including where human fecal matter, wastewater, or pig manure is used to fertilize crops. Wash your hands with soap and water before handling food. Teach children the importance of washing hands to prevent infection. Supervise children around pigs, ensuring that they do not put unwashed hands in their mouths. Wash, peel, or cook all raw vegetables and fruits before eating, particularly those that have been grown in soil that has been fertilized with manure. For treatment, anthelmintic medications, which are drugs that remove parasitic worms from the body, are the drugs of choice for treatment of Ascaris infections, regardless of the species of worm. Examples of these medications are albendazole and mebendazole. Generally, infections are treated for 1 to 3 days. The drugs are effective and appear to have few side effects.
In the Philippines, it was shown by a study that school-aged children between 5 to 19 years of age are most at risk of Ascaris lumbricoides and T. trichurico infections, with moderate high infection intensity compared to other age groups. The result concluded to proclaim Luzon to garner the highest estimated number of school-aged children with A. lumbricoides and T. trichurico infections, which was an estimate of an 89,400 total, followed by Visayas having 38,300 and Mindanao with 20,200 cases. This raises a concern directed to the community to always observe proper hygiene practices and follow protocols and program against the spread of Ascaris lumbricoides throughout every city. We must acknowledge efforts that support this movement, as this would emerge in the near future as a success which would ultimately lower the morbidity, especially in the Philippines where parasitic infections are common. We are pedaling our way towards becoming global citizens and global leaders, envisioned to change our world for the better. That ends our presentation. Thank you for listening.